So my name is Stephanie Polistena. I went to UConn, obviously, from 2017 to 2021. So I was in the School of Business, marketing major, concentration in digital marketing and analytics, minor in data analytics, and some of my extracurriculars while I was at school was marketing society. I ran the social media for the club, and I think I actually created our Instagram. If there are really ugly early graphics, those are mine. It's fine. Also, these slides are really ugly, just warning all of you marketers. But anyway, I was also in DSP, did a couple leadership roles within DSP. That was a large part of my experience, as Ella knows. And I was in the BCLC my freshman and sophomore year, which I feel like just kicked off my career development, my professional development skills in general. I really liked being part of the BCLC, and it was cool having friends going to the same club meetings as me, things like that. And then I did social media for the Office of Off-Campus and Commuter Student Services. So that was my on-campus job, junior and senior year. So that was fun. I did the newsletter every week, kind of working a little office environment in the student union. And then, yeah, I ran the social media. So tried to get hands-on experience through doing clubs and on-campus jobs, mostly social media marketing wise. And then I studied abroad in Barcelona, 2020. I'm sure you can assume how that ended. So I had an incredible experience, though. I just was with some abroad friends this past weekend. So anyway, on to my Synchrony journey. So I've been at the same company since graduating. You know, everyone's goal while you're in school is to just get an internship as soon as possible, then get another internship, and then get a job from the internship. So I kind of did that. It all worked out, and I'm still happy at the same company. So I'll just breeze through these, and then, I guess hold your questions for now, and I can go back to any of these pages and just talk about whatever you guys want. But I found Synchrony at the intern/career fair. Didn't know what it was. I was a sophomore. I was interested in internships, and I was just like, who will hire me as an intern as a sophomore? And most companies were not doing that. So ultimately, I ended up getting an internship at another company for my sophomore summer. But when I talked to Synchrony at the career fair, they said, yeah, our internship program is for juniors, but we have an externship program. So aside from me, planning on interning at another company my sophomore year, during that spring, I went to the BLP externship with Synchrony, and it was just a 4-day experience at the Stanford headquarters, and it was just with 20 other students from around the US, and we just learned all about Synchrony and the culture and the program, and I learned all about the rotational program that I ended up going into. So, long story short, from the externship, I got an interview for the internship for the following summer. I interned summer 2020. I was remote, of course. Originally, the program was you intern, you get put up in housing wherever you get placed. So I was like, okay, I'm open to moving wherever for the summer. I got placed in Ohio originally. I got back from abroad, and Synchrony was still like, I think we might still move you interns. We're not really sure what's going on. And I'm a Connecticut girl, and so being placed in Ohio was kind of wild, but didn't end up going. And so it was sad, just to not get that experience, but did my internship remotely from home. So that was a 10-week experience doing marketing on a team. I'll tell you guys more about just like Synchrony in general, so these won't make as much sense to you right now, but I was a marketing intern at the company, and then I got a return offer, and then I went into the rotational program. So the rotational program at Synchrony, it's called the Business Leadership Program, and it had me in 3 different marketing roles across 2 years. And I really, as like a sophomore, I was seeking an internship, yes, that would get me into some form of rotational program for full time, because we all know marketing is pretty broad. I knew I liked marketing. I took classes in high school about marketing, and I always liked kind of the combo of the right brain and the left brain. I've always been into some creative stuff, but not too intensely, because I also like using the analytical side of my brain. So I just thought it was a perfect marriage of that stuff and consumer behavior. That was my favorite class in UConn. So I liked marketing, but it's so broad. So I thought a rotational program would be cool to explore a couple different things. So I did a rotation for a year on PayPal client marketing team here, a rotation on in the products org here on mobile wallets essentially. And then I did a rotation on our business development marketing team. And then I graduated from the BLP program in July 2023. And then I rolled off into my permanent role, which is the product incubation team. I'm a product owner, and I'm in that role today, so 2 years later. So, kind of a wonky journey, I guess. It doesn't feel as wonky anymore, but definitely when I rolled off the program and I went into this full-time or, permanent product owner role, I was just like, what the heck did I get myself into? I studied marketing. So I feel like, Ella included, I talk to students all the time about like, what are you doing now? How did you get there? And a lot of times people are interested how marketing led me to where I am today. And I would have never expected it. I would have never expected to be working adjacent to technology and for a financial services company, but it all worked out. So last couple of things I want to say on this, and I'll just breeze through some Synchrony slides, and then we can get to Q&A. Is when I was in school, I thought I wanted to go into like fashion marketing or advertising in New York City, like all the glamorous sounding stuff. So I just remember I would have a lot of conversations with friends, peers, professors, and I was just like, this stuff interests me, like, the creative stuff, the glamorous stuff. And I remember being like, I don't know if I should do this program because I don't want to be, tied to this industry. It sounds like a great program. There aren't that many great rotational programs out there, and I don't know if I want to be in financial services. And of course, I was advised to go for the program because whether I wanted to stay in this industry or not, it'd give me a really great foundation. And also I was pretty much told that those other areas, like whatever it is, advertising, let's say, they're competitive, and there's a lot of people going for that. So I should kind of stick to this program, at least at first, and see how I feel. So that's kind of how I landed at Synchrony, but by no means was I targeting a financial services company, or, I didn't even know what Synchrony was at the time. So incubation is the dedicated innovation team at Synchrony. So we look at things here. I'll show you this. And this is the exact content that I present all the time when we have visitors to our office. It's like Lowe's coming in, let's say, and it's like our Lowe's client team is like, hey, incubation team, can you explain to Lowe's like why we're innovative and why we're a great partner and blah, blah, blah. And this is the content, how we describe how we do innovation at Synchrony. Incubation is a core part of innovation, but innovation happens everywhere. So in order to do anything well, especially with a buzzword like innovation, you have to structure it. So we fall into this Horizon 2 area, which is looking at products that are 2 to 3 years out from being super important to consumers, or our partners, which are primarily retail partners, or, the PayPals or Verizons of the world, whatever. So yeah, we look at trends, we work with consulting firms, our ventures team, we look at a lot of consumer research, and we basically plot trends from, here, societal business trends, technology trends. We plot these trends on a radar, and then again, to structure it and to kind of draw boundaries for what we work on, because obviously if we looked at every single possible headline or technology, we wouldn't get anything done. So this is showing that product incubation leans into this part of the trend radar. This is supposed to be showing the whole spectrum of kind of what's going on in the world and the intersection of technology and business. And we look at this middle area, which is Horizon 2, so things that are 2 to 3 years out from being like super understood and huge with consumers. And then this middle line is impact to our business, which includes financial services industry and retail industry when it comes to working with our partners. So this middle area here, you see agentic AI, stable coins, digital identity, walletless consumer, and then closer in here are things that we might have already talked about or might have already worked on: social shopping, generative AI, POS disruption, which is point of sale disruption. So anyway, we look at how to test little mini projects for most of these in this section per year. So these are our Horizon 2 high impact trends of this year. Some of them rolled over from last year: generative and agentic AI, embedded finance, stable coins that we recently added this one with the Genius Act passing this summer, immersive reality. We have a bunch of wearable devices in our experience center, and walletless consumer. So we basically have these trends, and then it's like, okay, now what? And this is kind of where it gets into our process to get at your question. We basically have a trend. So we have agentic AI, for example. We host a hackathon, meaning we as in Synchrony, like the technology org, will host a ginormous event where there's like, I think the agentic AI one was 500 participants, cross-functional. It's like you have people in tech, marketing, analytics, finance, and they all come together to work within teams to, it's basically like a giant case competition where it's like, let's come up with different ways that Synchrony could use agentic AI. And there's a ton of ideas, and then winning ideas that come out of that feed our pipeline. So the ideas are what we call use cases, so ways to use agentic AI, and we get really specific, and then we pick one of those very specific use cases, and then we build them out. So this is our process. So like I said, we have this set boundaries so we can stay focused and make real stuff happen. So we have to make sure we're always solving for known unknowns. Agentic AI is still new technology, so it's on my team to make sure we're focused on agentic AI. We're focused on a ton of research and tinkering with things, trying things out. And if someone sends us a headline about like whatever, we need to enhance our app, or like, I don't know, mobile wallets. Like those are already known things that teams of today are working on. We are solving for known unknowns. We start really small. We start by defining the first question we need to answer, meaning get super specific with your one objective. It's not like we just want to learn everything about agentic AI. It's if we, based on the use case. So our use case right now is an agentic shopping agent. So the first question would be, will there be incremental spend on Synchrony credit cards with this agentic concept? That's a rough example of our first question to answer. And so we identify with our data analytics person of, okay, what are the KPIs? What are the key performance indicators that we will have this mini product anchored to? So we don't build too much, we don't spend too much time. If it shows that these KPIs are a go, we'll hand it off to be scaled. If it's a no-go, if we're not reaching statistical significance because we're not getting engagement, it's probably not an idea that consumer is going to like. So we start by building first while we're learning about the new technology in a non-discoverable way, but then we do find a way to test in a strategic context. If you guys are interested in the externship, which happens your spring sophomore year, or our summer internship, which again, all of this is kind of a pipeline, so the earlier you get in, the better. Apply ASAP at this link. And if you have any more questions for me, please connect with me on LinkedIn, send me a message. I literally love conversations like this. I'm happy to do a one-on-one. But yeah, just so you all know, full-time BLP is full. It's like quite the pipeline from the internship. So it's just sophomore and junior opportunities here. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any more questions, and keep in touch.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.